Hi, this is Tom Hatfield from Razor Sharp Sports. Make sure you check me out each and every day at freeplays.com for another complimentary winner. Now, before we get to the complimentary selection here for Thursday's college football, let's take a look at more handicapping tips when it comes to college football action. We still have 1 or 2 weeks left of non-conference football, which can be kind of hard when it comes to handicapping. You have to compare two teams that really are not familiar with each other in two conferences that don't play a whole lot, and strength of schedule comes into play. It's kind of a tough thing to do to really come up with strong plays. Well, one of the easiest tips that I like to take a look at has to do with travel. You take a look at these West Coast teams that travel to the East and play an early game, or East Coast teams that travel to the West and play a late game, and it's a real advantage for the home team in these situations. Let's take a look. This week we have 3 games from West Coast to East Coast. You have Stanford going to Army, New Mexico going to Pittsburgh, and UCLA going to Nebraska. Now, all 3 of these games being played 12 or 12:30 Eastern time. But for Stanford, New Mexico, and UCLA's clocks, they think it's 9 or 9:30. Besides that, these guys are getting up, 3-4 hours early to get ready for the game, prepare, get to the stadium, and all that. That means they're getting up 5-6 o'clock in the morning, not their normal schedule. So they could start out very slow, and that could be real trouble here. So take a look at that. Stanford, New Mexico, UCLA, might want to stay away from them. Army, Pittsburgh, Nebraska, on the other hand, have the advantage. On the other side of the country, I guess you should say, East Coast teams heading to the West Coast. Well, not quite East Coast. Just right now we have a couple Central teams. Central Michigan going to UNLV and Wisconsin going to Arizona, and they're both playing late games. They're playing at 7 o'clock or 7:30 local time out on the West Coast. But for these two teams, their biological schedule, their clocks say it's 9 or 9:30. And by the time the fourth quarter rolls around, it's almost midnight for these kids. That could be a real advantage for teams like UNLV and Arizona here in this one. So take a look at that when you're doing your handicapping. Now, how about a free pick here for Thursday's college football? We have a matchup in the Big 12 as TCU takes on Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech has scored plenty of points so far in their first 2 preseason, or I should say non-conference, but really where they played, the teams they played, it is a preseason game. They're averaged 51 points per game in their first 2 games. As for TCU, they're only averaging 32.5 points per game, but one of those games was 27 points against a very tough LSU defense. With these two teams getting together, I expect plenty of points. This Thursday, take TCU and Texas Tech over the total. Now, if you like this pick, please click the like button below this video or feel free to leave a comment, and make sure you check back for more free videos here on Free Plays TV. Good luck!